Hello everyone. I am going to talk about Abzooba Infotech Private India Limited. It is a data science and analytics company based out of San Francisco and has started in 2010. So it is growing very fast, and the eligibility criteria for this company is actually it is open for all, and there was no CPI criteria or any specific branch wise. So it was basically open for everyone. Written test was basically a pen and paper test, and it was a bit lengthy paper. It was of 90 minutes duration, and it consists of many sections like aptitude, statistics, probability, then machine learning, and there were some open-ended questions, and these open-ended questions were very important. So they have given some questions like there is and you are having a NASA statistics of stars and galaxies, and you have to cluster them to form constellations. So how will be your machine learning approach to find clusters? And then other question was like you are having some poems, then you have to retrieve some texts based on machine learning approach which are more relevant than the others. So these types of questions were there, and the standard of question paper was quite very good. So it was not easy paper. Okay, so interview consists of two rounds, and both of them were technical rounds. But one thing was in the interview, there were two interviewers in both the rounds, and they were also having the question papers which we had attended in the written test with them, and they were asking questions from that as well. First round of interview was a bit practical round. So they were asking some questions related to machine learning, that in a particular scenario what kind of a machine learning approach you will use, whether you will be using classification or clustering in a particular problem, and if classification, then which classification will you prefer and why, and that is better than the other one. And they were also having my test paper, so they asked a few questions from that test paper, why I had answered this one, and what was the answer, what did you thought while answering the question in the test paper. And so at the last they also asked that if I want to ask something from them. So I asked something related to they are having some club in their organization, so I asked something about that, and they were like satisfied with my interview in the first round, so they called me for the second round. So the second round of interview was a bit longer than the first round. In the second round they were asking questions based on machine learning and analytics. So they asked a few puzzle questions like how will you slice a cake into 8 parts just with the 3 slices, with just 3 cuts, and then how will you reduce overfitting, underfitting in a model, and about a variance, biasness of the machine learning model you will be designing. How will you divide your data set into training, amount of a data set you will use for training data, and then the test data. And similarly, so there were a few more questions based on machine learning only and analytics. And at the last they asked 1 or 2 coding questions, like how will you using like how will you find a loop in the linked list, double linked list. So this type of questions they were asking. Useful tips for aspirants who are willing to work on machine learning companies. So they are basically advised to take a course from Coursera by Andrew Ng, and this course is very important in respect to machine learning, and they are also having some practical assignments and theoretical assignments which will make you cover all the basic aspects of the course. And from my perspective, I had taken the courses which had mini projects in their course curriculum, which was more or less related to machine learning, like in computer system biology, human-computer interaction, then information retrieval. So these subjects are having some projects related to, and projects and concepts related to machine learning. And more of a practical knowledge is better than just a theoretical knowledge, because you will be applying the concepts of machine learning like clustering and classification, SVMs. So these practical aspects are more important than just theoretical. And in general, you can also work towards your coding and puzzles, because puzzles are also part of these things, this kind of companies for analytics.